Hey, Timmy! Timmy! Hey, Timmy! Timmy, look at this. Look, watch. Woo! Look at that, huh? Pretty cool, right? Are you watching, Timmy? Foul. Yummy. Hey, Timmy. Those pigeons, those were your friends, right? Those were your buddies, right? So, Update 1.1 of Genshin Impact is just around the corner, and as excited or impatient as everyone is to complete the Archon questline, a lot of people are already speculating about Tevat's next region. Inazuma, the land of Electro inspired by Edo period Japan, looks to be the focal country of Act 2. But considering that there are still 3 updates scheduled before the next region's release, MiHoYo has given us very little to go off of for what we can expect from the homeland of the closed beta's most treasured waifu. Fortunately, there are just enough bits and pieces of information scattered in the game that we can string together along with common patterns of the first 2 regions and get some real speculation about Inazuma. Full disclosure, there are some minor prologue and location spoilers in this video that I will timestamp and flash a little warning sign for in case you are still in early game. But other than that, my name is Spinecar. Make sure to like the video at the end if you enjoyed it, and let's find out everything we can about Inazuma. Obviously, the easiest and most reliable source of information would be Genshin Impact's official website. Just one problem with that. It's Inazuma is not on there. It's just not there. Despite the fact that it is confirmed to be the next region in the game, MiHoYo just hasn't told us anything. So how do we find shit out? Well, we pretty much get all of the information we need about Inazuma from its lone native in Liyue Harbor, Atsuko. She tells us that she arrived in Liyue by sea, and that while fending off harsh waves, she was also escaping the forces behind her, which gives us 2 huge chunks of info, starting with where Inazuma is. While we've only experienced 2 regions so far, the map of Tevat looks like it will somewhat closely follow real-world geography, with Liyue, aka China, being southeast of Mondstadt, aka Germany. Inazuma will be east of Liyue, and you can already see it from the top of Gyeonstone Forest. Right beyond Badu's ship, there is a very large island, and if you didn't already know that Japan is an island, then I don't really know what to say to you. While you can't see it on the world map yet, it's easy to assume just by eyeballing that it is pretty far away, so it leaves the question of how do we get there? I took a little test run, and gliding certainly will not be the answer. Even if you were to use Venti's elemental skill to boost your launch height, by the time you hit the Paimon wall, you're already pretty much at the ocean's surface and not even halfway to the island yet. Which means the most likely way of reaching Inazuma based off the content we've seen so far will be by one of the game's 2 ships. The first one we'll look at is the Pearl Galley, which I think will definitely have more content in future updates. It's very beautiful, full of snobby elitists, an unrevealed owner which adds a bit of intrigue, and the 2 guards must be protecting something behind those doors. The head of security talks about people mysteriously disappearing then being replaced. However, I think that this will all tie into the final act of the Liyue storyline while having nothing to do with Act 2. Therefore, Badu's ship will be the one to take us to Inazuma, and I'll explain why with regional and cultural history. Mondstadt was designed to be pretty true to mid-1000s Germany with its architecture and overall cultural aesthetics, complete with large castle-like walls to protect the city, duteous stalwart knights keeping watch of the gate outside of a moat, the haunting remains of great battlegrounds that spark legends of brave-hearted warriors, and of course, lively taverns where everyone goes to get pissed drunk, talk about life, adventures, and overall just ignore their responsibilities. I'm talking to you, Bruce! Cultural German legends are often like fairy tales where the hero fights off a dragon to save his lover and or his people, which is pretty much exactly what happens in the Mondstadt Archon questline. While, of course, this is a fantasy video game and not a historical one, some liberties are obviously going to be taken, but Genshin has done surprisingly well with following the themes of each region's real-world country. I have to admit that my knowledge of 14th to 16th century China is somewhat lacking in both departments, historical and cultural, but given that MiHoYo is a Chinese developer, I'm confident that they also played the region of Liwa very close to its origin. If you just search for images of Chinese architecture from during this time period, you can see that Liwa's design closely resembles it and does a beautiful job. In terms of costumes, detailing on each and every building, the true-to-culture storytellers, even the harbor itself feels like so much effort was put into it, and we can only hope that MiHoYo does the same thing with all of the future regions. I'm getting a little bit off topic, but holy shit. Yo! Yo! Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Yes, yes, yes. Common chest. I'll take it. We take those. Common. Give me that. Give me that XP. Yo! Okay, so getting back to the main point, the Liwa Archon quest is mainly about scheming conspiracies and political figures working from the shadows, which closely mirrors China during this time period. I won't get into too much detail, mainly because I don't have that much detail, but just think the dynasties and power struggles, and you get the idea. The main point being, once again, that each region is going to closely follow its origin country's history and culture, and Inazuma will be no different. Circling back to Atsuko, she talks about the control of Inazuma being in the strict hands of the Bakufu, which is most likely the Teyvat version of the Shogun. The Bakufu looks to be the leader of the Kanjo Bugyo, which, according to Genshin's unofficial wiki page, is the collective administrative body of Inazuma. Shoguns in Japan were essentially military leaders who overthrew the emperor and became political leaders. They are also very closely associated with... What? Jesus Christ! What is that? Shoguns during this time period were infamous for their own schemes, with this guy killing his predecessor, then getting betrayed by his own successor, and you get the picture. It's likely that there will be schemes in the Inazuma storyline as well. Another large bit of information that Atsuko gives us is that the people of Inazuma are pretty much barred from leaving the island, and that outsiders are very few and far in between, implying that the forces she escaped from on her voyage were most likely the authorities. Considering that Japan did close itself off from the rest of the world in the early 1600s, you can imagine that the situation will be similar for Inazuma. But we need to enter Inazuma to speak with the Electro Archon. But how do we enter Inazuma when it's barred off? Well, it looks like we have to sneak in. But how do we sneak in traveling by a ship? With pirates, baby! It all circles back around to the pirate ship. Remember when I said we were gonna get back to that? Me neither, but here we are anyway. And does anyone recall who the captain of that pirate ship? That's right, it's Beidou, Baido, who cares? She is going to sneak us into Inazuma to start Act 2. But of course this is all speculation and probably not what you came here for, so let's get back to what we know for a fact and what we can logically assume about the Inazuma update. Well, according to an article on the MiHoYo forum, shout out to the writer, Inazuma is set to be in the Edo period of Japan. Sorry weebs, there will be no Akihabara for you. There will however be some very beautiful shrines and temples. These photos are from a Japan-themed region of Honkai Impact 3rd, a mobile game made by MiHoYo in 2016. The design is already great, and we can assume that Inazuma will look even better. Now, as far as any new characters go, the only thing we can rely on is the closed beta. The beta included Kamisato Ayaka, a 5-star cryo sword user who is from Inazuma. Now, it's possible that she may be available before Act 2 releases, but we will likely see her as a banner character once we're able to travel to Inazuma. And speaking of future releases, let's just get it over with and take a look at the speculative Genshin Impact timeline, which is a tragedy. MiHoYo has scheduled the next 3 updates/expansions for every 6 weeks, meaning that aside from what is likely to be a short stint in Dragonspine, A new region will not be brought to life until April 2021 at the earliest. It is going to be a long time before we get to experience INAZUMA as well as Act 2 of the Archon storyline. Right now, all we can do is hope that MiHoYo has put enough content into these next 3 updates to keep us enjoying the game until April, or even later, depending on how far they are in development. In the meantime, I do think that they'll give us more information on INAZUMA in the next weeks or months so that we can keep our spirits high and look forward for what's to come. And I do hope that this video was able to do the same job to some extent for any of you watching. I know it's hard thinking about the fact that we won't get a new region for over 6 months, but the best thing we can do, the only thing we can do, is share our impatience together. So go ahead and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If they do release more information on this or any future updates, I will make sure to find out as much as I can. But until next time, again, thank you all so much for watching, and I still don't have an outro, so just click on something else. Just go. I'm gonna keep talking. I'm not even gonna fade the screen to black. I'm just gonna keep going until you click off of this. Otherwise, you have to hear my voice when I'm not even talking about the game. Why would you be here right now? Go, leave, click on another video. Go to Twitch. I don't know. Do something.